From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. America. I am Keith Allen, and proudly welcome you into the second hour as we broadcast coast to coast on this Tuesday, December the 5th, 2017. We go live once again to Eagle Nation Cycle, where we got Steve Arado, we got Kay Reitz, we got the gang, and do you guys have a little breakfast that's left over from this morning? You guys always cook up such a beautiful breakfast there, so giving in the community, serving the community. I think we should give you a restaurant license or something to where just all the finest in Neenah dine at your cycle shop, because you guys really are a class act, Steve.
Thanks a lot, Keith, but there's no leftovers today.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not a surprise. I mean, because I would be eating them if I was there. You know this.
Absolutely.
Well, here we are again, and this is the second hour today that we've been talking because it's the anniversary. It's a little morbid in some ways, but it's depressing, and others. Your friend, your business associate, a friend of so many people across the country, and they're in Neenah, little town of Neenah, Wisconsin, where something so tragic happened, where a real hasty police officer decided he just wanted to pop a good guy when he was asking for help. I mean, that really summarizes, don't you think, Steve, a really tragic story as we remember his death 2 years ago. Absolutely.
He was completely innocent, did absolutely nothing wrong, and it was his recommendation to call the police. He had a concealed carry that he didn't use. We allowed the police to handle the situation, and he ended up being dead, shot at 19 times, finished off, and allowed to lay in the alley for 45 minutes, even when they knew they shot the wrong guy, and by officers that were celebrating that they had done so.
Now, there are people that are putting the puzzle together. I mentioned the puzzle being put together. Since the state attorney can't do it, since the mayor can't do it, since the chief can't do it, and it just seems like they don't have the will, nor do they have the decency to really look into this any further. There are people looking into this as we speak, and I want to mention a man that will be joining us a little bit later on. He is a very acclaimed author. His name is Daniel Storm, and he's going to be joining us. He knows something about crime and crime gone wrong, where innocent people end up dead. How did you guys hook up with Daniel? Did you guys contact him, or did he approach you?
Well, actually, one of the people in our committee, Faye Wolf, had a very, very unfortunate situation where her brother was killed by police, and when that happened, she had made contact with Daniel and with an activist down in the Milwaukee area, Tori Lowe. And when I was talking to Faye one day about becoming part of this group, she mentioned Daniel to me and called him, and I actually ended up talking to him for 40 minutes on the phone and kind of filling him in as to what it was that we're doing. And by the grace of God, on Saturday at our celebration of life for Michael Funk, Tori Lowe and Daniel showed up here at the bike shop, and we had a really, really good talk. We had another lady here, Tony Biegert from Green Bay, whose son was killed by police, and she was able to talk with Tori and to get a lot more information than she's received in almost the 3 years since Joseph has been killed. And it just kind of fell into our lap. So by the grace of God, these guys walked in here and helped us with a lot of things, answered a lot of questions in one day that we've been waiting 2 years to get answers to.
The committee Kay Reitz is talking about is Committee for Cultural Change. And if you'd like to send Kay an email or Steve an email, keep.cops.honest@gmail.com. That's keep, KEEP, .cops.honest gmail.com. And that's really all you guys want, is to just keep the cops honest. You would think that they are. I mean, they teach us that officers are there to uphold the law and to protect us. Do you feel safe knowing that Wilkerson and his partners are still on the streets?
No, and we talk to a lot of people that feel the same way we do. Every day, Keith, there is not a day that goes by that I'm not out in the public, and Steve hears this as well, when that we're out in public, that people come up to us and bring the subject of Michael Funk up and shake their head and say, I'm really afraid. I'm afraid to live in Neenah now. My husband tells me if I ever get pulled over, and on and on and on. It's a vicious cycle daily.
Not knowing if they're going to get shot. Yeah, not know if they're going to be mishandled. You know, what's going to happen if they have a bone to pick, they take it out on an innocent citizen for just no reason, for a taillight or something crazy like that.
Well, the other thing is, we've been, our group, Michael Holmes, who is part of our group here, has done, intensive research on, the killings in the state of Wisconsin, the police killings in the year 2017 already. And we're up, the last count was 20. And then that was I think a week or two ago, and we had a meeting, and we're up to probably 23 or 24. There was another one last night Daniel Storm was telling me about. It's an ongoing thing. There are more killings in the state of Wisconsin in the year 2017, and we're not even done yet with this year.
How many?
Than there was in 15 and in 16.
How many now this year?
We're probably, my last count was 23.
I see.
23.
23 killings.
Right. And out of those, 19 of those killings were justified. 2 are pending, and 2 we're just now starting to hear about.
I see. Like
every single month.
Keith, the one thing that they all have in common, though, is the DOJ will not answer questions. That's the issue that we're pushing for.
I wonder if that's their policy.
Whether it was justified or not, if an investigation is done, we as citizens should be allowed to ask questions of the investigating body, and they will not do that.
Have you ever asked why it might be?
They won't respond. We have sent emails asking information regarding the Michael Funk investigation.
I wonder if anybody in law enforcement. I wonder if Daniel could maybe when we get him on, if he could, maybe he'll know what the thinking is, why they don't talk to the public about these cases.
Well, you know what, Keith? One of the things that we've kind of noticed, and that's why we wanted to form a group, is that what happens is the investigating body has a tendency to keep everybody separate and just kind of tell you, like with Michael Funk here, just come on and tell us, give us their whole justification as to why the police didn't do anything wrong, and then they kind of leave you with that, and then they move on to the next person. And what we found by talking to other people that have had the same situation is that everybody's kind of going through the same thing, this kind of, the police didn't do anything wrong, and don't ask questions. That's kind of a common theme here. Now, we got a motto here for our committee, and it's called "The Truth Fears No Question." If they're telling the truth in their investigations, why are they scared to answer any questions regarding what they did?
Yeah.
In case I'm sure you'd find this amazingly shocking, but as of right now, they're 100% the police have been justified.
Yeah, the media sides with the family. It sides with you. I mean, it doesn't go into the favor at all for the Neenah Police Department. So that should tell the citizens certainly something there. And it's no wonder why citizens are asking you all the time in the community and saying that they fear, because this has been handled in a very, very poor way. And there's been no public comment. There's been no apology whatsoever to the family. And I would tell you that I would be certain that if it was in my town, a couple towns that I've lived in, and a police chief, they shot the wrong person, I guarantee there would be an apology publicly and privately to the family. Just the mere fact of how small Neenah, Wisconsin is, that they couldn't just lean in a little bit and bring a little comfort to the family, especially Phyllis Funk or Greg Funk, the immediate family, let alone you, your business partner for 25 years. At least they could do is say, I'm sorry that your son was shot. That wasn't the intention. At least something, but nothing. And what they did was beyond belief. Instead of doing that, they did do something. And ladies and gentlemen, what that something was is they rewarded the officers for shooting the wrong person. They rewarded them.
And for running out of the building, abandoning the hostages they were supposed to be saving. You know, I mean, the story just goes on, and it's just amazing.
Lack of training and an agenda of their own. That's basically where it pans down. And that's why I say a movie maker, a documentary maker, I've been in media for 32 years. And, you know, I have friends, Joe Cipriano, he's an A-list actor in Hollywood. I'm going to call him, BobBergen.com. You can look him up. He's a voice actor for Warner Brothers, does all the Mel Blanc voices. I'm going to call him. And we know people in Hollywood and Showtime and Netflix. You know, I'm going to call my people and tell them about the story and all the stuff that the Post-Dispatch and Duke has written, all the video that we've got from all the affiliates up there, all the video. We have all the stuff and all the transcripts and all the lame excuses that have come out of the state of Wisconsin and the little town of Neenah up there. It just seems like they're playing cops and making the rules up as they go. It's like Cops and Robbers, where there's a bunch of kids running AWOL in Neenah. I'm serious. They don't know what they're doing, and they're killing people. Innocent people are end up dead in the town. It's really an embarrassment for the poor citizens that pay taxes in Neenah. This is what we get. I mean, is there no better? Can they do no better in Neenah? Can they not get better people on the force there? I mean, it leads people to wonder. We have some really good questions. Who's running the show up there? Anybody?
Well, the whole thing is there is nobody that's really running the show because nothing is getting done. It just seems like in the incident with Craig Hoffer, Craig ran the whole show. You know, I mean, like I said, the sergeant lost control, the lieutenant lost control of it. He ran the whole show. And nobody, the chief of police, has done nothing after that. You know, we tried to get the chief of police removed from here. And we had to back off on that for several reasons. But nothing, they just go on with their own life. Like, you know, we came, we saw, we conquered, we killed, and, you know, back off in their happy lives. Being promoted to detective, going out and teaching other officers.
Yeah,
nothing's done. There's no transparency whatsoever.
And there's no shame.
It's not only happening here, it's really happening all over. We've been contacted by other people. There's a Lance Corporal, Lily Whitmire. Lily is now over in Okinawa, Japan. Her husband, Tyler, was killed by police.
Oh, dear God.
She came back for the funeral. She was actually talking to him on the phone from Japan when she heard, she's an MP. She heard the gunshots. She knew something was wrong. She got a Skype call message from her dad a little later telling her Tyler was dead. Came back over here for the funeral. Her mother, Ann Lucas, is in Indiana. Ann came here. They came for the funeral. They tried to talk to their chief of police. They tried to talk to their DA. They tried to talk to Department of Justice. Nobody would talk to them. Nobody would answer any questions. So here you go. Here's Lily Whitmire back in Japan now, with no answers, not even knowing where to go. A young 20-year-old Marine. Her mother is in Indiana, can't get any answers, so they've joined forces with us. These are the kind of people, Keith, that we are trying to help. This is the reason for the Committee for Cultural Change, because we do believe in strength in numbers.
Yes.
And there are a lot more people out there. Those are just a few. Tony Beeger joined our crew. These are a few people that have joined our organization now because they want what we want. And we feel that in strength in numbers, we can help them get that.
Amen.
Hopefully.
People are listening, and a lot of people are tuned in. I know you promoted it, Kay, like a good bulldog does as a producer, because you produced the show for many years. As this show at one time in the 90s was the second only to Rush Limbaugh, and you were back in that, and you were in charge of that, which was incredible. But our listeners are all across America on radio stations and satellite, and we appreciate everybody that's tuned in, especially for the coverage on Michael Funk and the Michael Funk anniversary and for his celebration of life. It's a life that will not be forgotten, and the Community for Cultural Change is here for you, and we want to hear from you. If you feel like there's been an injustice in your small town, your city, we'd like to hear about it. And here's where you can email Kay and the gang